aseto pawia, aseto pada mukosa pose. No pro, nagbesa kopro no bawizoze. Aseto pada mukosa kuze. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Una kuche, una kabo. Piari sekenu. Bondesia, Wana. Today I don't come for do the final segment on this education talk where I've been start. I do am alone because I'm a professionally trained teacher and I do that job there in 2 countries. I do am in Sierra Leone 13 years. I do 5 years in Norway. And I get reasonable experience for point to the things them way wrong about the kind of education we'll get in our country. And one of the things then that we don't hold way back in 63 years of it after independence. Education now a process for change and harness the most important resource where they exist on Mother Earth. That's not the human resource. The human resource now the most important resource because one, except by natural accident, they exhaust. Two, Now, the only resource we get the ability for think and create. For those who believe in religion, they are told in all the scriptures that God made man and gave him part of his power. The Bible says in Genesis, let us make man after our image and likeness. So he'll take dominion. The Quran have talked about God making a clay, he bake him, then he put part of him breath into him. So Homo sapien, na a thinking existence, na a thinking resource, unlike that gold and diamond, where they go take where not they think. Homo sapien, if he get the proper training, he know how for use the resources then they for benefit and for prosper. When he not get the proper training, and like he get the resources, then they know they prosper panam or from them. Now this we dey see in our country, Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is a very rich country in terms of natural resource, in terms of I would say vegetational resources. The vegetation as it was in the original form where we don't destroy mostly, it been very rich. The soils were very good. So even if we be saying agriculture no more they concentrate pan, it been for able to run the economy well like where La Cote d'Ivoire they do. La Cote d'Ivoire gets plenty minerals, they get almost all the same minerals we get. But the primary concern since independence now for develop agriculture, and they did. Today, they are one of the primary producers of coffee and cacao, and then get plantations where they produce pineapple, they produce banana, then they export. They get plenty other things where then they export. The economy, they boom. Why can't we do all of this in Sierra Leone? I think on the last segment, I've been count some of the challenges our educational system get. Today, I will come further for talk about some of these challenges and let we see how it affects not only our economy, but even we coexistence as a people living in the same country. Fine education we get in Sierra Leone, and I believe say very similar with all Anglophone Africa, but some countries don't begin to try for modify that. Like East Africa, they don't go a long way for modify the system would then be inherited from the colonial era. Ghana, Nigeria, themselves don't go a long way for modify what's in them be inherit. But we in Sierra Leone, we not do much. Instead, we take education, we make them propaganda. Everybody they talk about free education. Everybody they talk about it. You cannot politicize education. Education for the out of politics because you did deal not only with the human resource, but you did deal with the destiny of the country. Education is a right that every human being must have access to. And each person must be able to develop their talent according to their level. The kind of education we'll get in Sierra Leone, not to show it the work. If you're not there at certain intelligence level, you're not fit, you're not misfit. And that they affect with development. They affect with development because every human being, whether he get that academic intelligence or not, he get a talent for offer. Up to society for identify the talent and build up. Some people they're not able too much read and write, but they're able to use their hands and get the talent, they get the dexterity for use their hands. He go be a musician, he go be a weaver, he go do crochet, he go do plenty things with your hand. He go be a cook for make confectionery and that kind of thing. The education what we inherit, now more of would get a level of intelligence we able cope with too much reading, now it work for. And the education what we inherit, they look about how we go and harness the talent of everybody. If they look at the few who are able, let them go. So what in that mean? We get an elitist type of education where they cater for few people. It may be right for certain societies, but it is not right for a society where they develop. Two, it's not right for a society we get diversity of I don't want to say culture. We not get diversity of culture in Sierra Leone, but get diversity of traditions and social perspectives. It's not right for we. The best type of education in Sierra Leone now how they make provision for all. Even how they say full man, let you able develop within in talent and use them for profit. But the question is, why we not been don't take stance for do all them things here until now, as we dey talk, so we not even able to begin doing it. The fact is, education a very, very expensive investment. It's a very expensive investment. But it's an investment where they bear fruit. One, it's expensive. Two, it take long. The minimum period where they take for invest in a child, for make that child begin contribute towards society, now 16 years minimum. So because of that, most people or most governments or most institutions they find it difficult for put that amount of money we will need for make we develop everybody in talent. All the time when they talk about putting money into education, when they talk about free education, when they talk about quality education, we get all the terms they use. But not much is taking place because the most important thing about education, we not dey look at them. We not dey look at them at all. And the thing is, whose kind education we need as a developing country? And almost at the cost for make we provide that kind of education. These are questions that are hardly asked. And so therefore, even if they wish they for do them properly, they happen because if you cannot look at the type of or the kind of education what the society need, if you cannot make an assessment of what it costs to put that in place, then you are wasting time. I'll take the present demographics in Sierra Leone. Presently, we get a population of 60% where they below age 25. It means 60% of the population they still need some type of education for build their skills and then talent. If you get 8 million people, you take 60% of that population. You say, okay, 60% of 8 million, they invest $1,000 per annum for make each learner get access to learning equipment, learning materials, etc., etc. That will run into billions of dollars. The basic minimum what we need for educate everybody, let everybody able building skill. Not everybody get for go university, go get PhD. But let everybody build a skill where they will engage in an economic activity where they produce goods and services. And as long as people able to produce goods and services, consumption they begin at the society. And as long as we instigate that process of consumption, that is when economic development starts. Economic development is not about building roads and bridges. It's about human activity, the consumption level, the ability to purchase goods and services, where they sustain demand and supply, where also they instigate production. That term development they begin take place. Because that's when you begin to create wealth. And when wealth is created, there will be money to spend on improving what is made. There will be money to spend on innovation, research, etc., etc. It's a difficult path to go, but we have to begin to consider to take that path. Otherwise, we are wasting time. We are wasting time and we are breeding discontent by the kind of education we would give. Because if somebody don't go till reach age 25, they go 30, the education we get not able to work for them, not able to give them in living, frustration sets in, discontent comes in. So all the troubles begin, crime, etc., etc. We therefore begin look at proactive rather than defensive ways of solving the problems of society. And one of the proactive ways of solving problems of society now foresee how we can improve on the talents of the human resource. Let everybody, if not sukublize if that person be make, let him make them. There is a market for it. There will be people trained to do marketing and advertisement where if we get them organized, they will be able to market it. The elitist system will get. Another thing we do for we, it make everybody look at development as an individual thing. It is not. Development should be collective aspirations. All man getting talent, all man getting skills, una come together and cooperate and collaborate so that una go able use each person own skill for make the value chain continue. This issue of too much ego now in society. It tell we say our educational system wrong. Well, look at some of the challenges where that system they or that kind of education they bring. Number one, education not for be far removed from the culture of the person where they learn. You cannot have somebody from Lebvuma or somebody from Kagbantama for convert them into a British. It's not possible. A parent from Kagbantama or Levuma living in London, can born Pekin in London, that Pekin turned British. because the pikin they born within the culture. This now one of the first problem they get from the education they give yourself. They take we away from we culture. And man by nature, na natural existence for the at par with the environment. If you sabi all the book, you're not able to live with your environment, then you find it difficult for integrate. I will give you now a living example, and I'm sure it happened to everybody. When you move from one country to another, the first 6 months to 1 year, it seem like say they live in a vacuum because you have to begin to adjust. You have to begin to integrate into the new environment. Most times people think now the language, not the problem. We body na environment interactive organ. It takes you time to adjust. When I came to Norway, it took me close to 5 years to adjust to the climate. And within that 5 years, I had a lot of problems. When it's cold, I get a lot of challenges for face. And the same thing, if you take that picking from the village or the rural area, you can't dump them into a condition we're not familiar with. You dey give them a shock because that condition not culturally adaptable for them. By the time they adapt, it don't take time. And maybe it go look like say the picking stupid. Another example I go give you now. Look at most footballers from Africa who they can play in Europe. And look at the African footballer we born in Europe who they play in Europe. When two not they perform at the same level, not because Europe get more facilities. It's because the African child born in Europe has been integrated into the environment such that in body, in speech and everything, they move in sync with the environment. Whereas that pikin we go pull like that footballer, we go pull from like Cote d'Ivoire or Ghana or Angola or Cameroon. When it come, it had taken time for adjust to the climate. It had taken time for adjust to a lot of environmental factors, and that they affect them performance. Of course, in Sierra Leone, we get an example, Musa Tumbo. Cambridge and can Norway turn back. The second take outside turn back. People think it's this crazy. It's a mental factor. In psychology, it's a kind of shock. When somebody not able to adjust to an environment, they become traumatized. And the trauma, they reduce the performance level. In some cases, they even go to extreme level for make the person behave abnormal, especially if the person find himself in an environment where they bully him. All of these things we don't take into consideration in our educational system. We want to force down the throat of the child the ability to learn and to read, write like the British man. It's a weakness what we education system get, where they make Boku people them not they able tap into them talent. There are many scientists, there are many engineers, etc., we're not able to develop because of this factor. Especially so, the medium of instruction will they use at certain level. If you want to teach that picking arithmetic, na class 1, you begin to go speak English to answer, then the picking come up from a man, they speak in environment or Timini or Kuranko. The biggest challenge what the picking get first, now for understand what you they say. The second challenge we get, now for able make sense out of the concept we teach them. This is where the cultural adaptation comes in. The second issue, we too centralize the implementation of education in Sierra Leone. What do I mean by this? Government, they make policy. Government, they say I don't spend this. Government, they say I don't spend that. In most cases, now for just score political point. But as a matter of fact, the reverse effect of then approach to education is that you remove the communities, you remove society from all the process. You don't remove society, you don't remove the community, even the home, you don't remove them. But you forget, say, that school, that formal school, because not only formal education, I go counter that. The formal school system, 8 hours maximum out of 24-hour day, they begin the day in school. The rest of the 24 hours, they begin the out of the school system. So if you exclude the society, you not make society know what in they go on at the school. You not make society know what in are their own part for makes the school function properly. A lot of double standards they take place. I go call on double standards. Because education is not only sitting in a classroom. Education is any experience we person get. Any interaction we person get, where they provide them for learn something, na education. When they begin go school, they get one system. When come out na the society, they get a completely different system. So we they end up for confuse the learner than for help and for learn. We therefore improve on the participation of communities, of society in the educational process. As a matter of fact, instead of talking about free education, let us talk about no fee education, but let there be a charge where the parents they know say, will they put this money, so therefore therefore put me more per what in the gone. We for be part of the process per what in the gone. What will they contribute in those hours where they begin all in a school? Then get for put weight per them. We get for sit down with the school. We plan. We do everything for we make sure say things and they work in sync between the school and the home. Then also get for look at those who are not going to school. How do they fit into this whole process of education? Those who are going to informal places to acquire skills, how do they fit into this whole process? Have we ever sat down to look at how to get them to fit and come up with policies, national policies that can be used nationwide for say, okay, that one not they go school again where they as apprentice. Let this be the policy where they guide them. Let this be the contribution where society go make the person acquire and build in talent. They've never done that. India in 1941 then passed a law what they call the National Apprenticeship Law. That law they make them for the one they will not they go through the formal school system. We have never done that in Sierra Leone because for us, education now elite is something. I went to the best school. I have a bachelor. I have a doctorate. That's all we care about. We are not looking at the productivity factor of education. How can somebody have his talent harnessed so that he can be a contributing factor to production in the society? Production of wealth, production of goods and services, production of ethical standards in society. We don't care about those. We care about, oh, I'm one of the chosen few. I'm one of the chosen, not a chosen few. You're one of those fortunate to have gone through a wrong grilling. And even with you, you don't fit in your society. You don't. The educated Sierra Leone are not a fit in a Sierra Leone. For most educated Sierra Leoneans, the fortunate ones, when they come out in the diaspora and get a job, you see them at top level. Why? Because the diaspora work environment, the diaspora human capacity need, now the kind of education would again a Sierra Leone. You will see somebody rise to the highest level in the supernatural nationals. When you go back Sierra Leone, they behave like a dummy. You see somebody who has worked in one of the biggest institutions on earth. When you go back Sierra Leone, they behave like a dummy. Because the education we get prepared for the society. Then teach her how to adjust and apply what he learn within the environment. So what in the next year they do? I used to have a car in America. I should have a car. I used to work $5,000. I should have $5,000. Sure of it, right? But is the environment convenient for you to have it? Can you adjust so that we all can get up and be working? This does not happen. A lot of complex issues they involve. People hardly look at these things. Everybody is talking politics. Oh, I need to do this. Nobody is doing nothing. All of us are doing everything wrong because our mental situation was tailored for that. We need for decolonize our minds. We need for move from the elitist mentality to the egalitarian mentality. Let everybody get a skill developed. Another thing with the Ambogwe is that when you take that picking from a natural environment, you go force some for begin learn in a language where you not hardly understand. It create a cognitive problem for the child. You're not able to think properly. It confuse them. Instead of us teaching the children in their natural language, we build them up to a point where they go reach, we begin use the foreign language, we go force them down into a that early stage. It's not feel like when you buy a new computer, you go force a virus through the computer and hard disk. It confuse them. That's what our kind of education does also. We method of teaching, because most times the people who teach are not professionally trained teachers. Instead, they affect the learning capacity of the Pekin. Rather than the Pekin look at a concept, he understand them in your way and interpret them in your way, we dey force the Pekin them for recite the concept. That's why most educated Sierra Leoneans can give you all the quotations you want. Even in the sciences, they'll tell you all the chemical formula, all the laws of physics, etc., etc. But ask them to apply those laws. A simple example. You go tell you say water na H2O. Tell am say okay, we know say na H2O, but how we go get hydrogen? So we begin use am for the cook. Then you don't give am a task. And it's a simple process. It's a very simple process. They make soda soap, you put caustic soda, you put water. Few more they come out that gas. Where you're not able to put your face near. Hydrogen. If you can get away for gooder process in an enclosed environment, you direct the hydrogen, then you don't begin produce hydrogen. But how many people can sit down and think of that? When they talk about environmental damage, when they cut we wood, when they cut we forest, why can't we, for God's sake, make hydrogen cookers now we country and teach the people how to use them safely? Because we education, no, they teach we for being innovative. We know all the principles. That's as much as we can. If them bring we now an environment, who say all the lab equipment there, then say, okay, do this, then give you the guidelines. Then you will be, oh, so now so then they make hydrogen. But you knew it all along. You knew it. But the kind of education you had does not allow you to think out of the box. So we get to look at that again. Another thing where we education they do for we, because it dey make we feel say we will go school, we were fortunate for get IQ, for able go through the rigors and the crucibles of learning concept that we don't even understand. We dey feel say we are different from the rest of society. With all the funny thoughts now, we are the chosen few. We are the lucky ones. There is no luck about education. It's a right for everybody. If you cannot give it to everybody, the few who have it don't matter because they are not there to produce. They are there to just show that I have this thing. My perception about the role of knowledge in development, the British view, one of the things where they slow down with development. It will be better for some of us who are educated to go down to grassroots, sit with the people, to them, let them tell you what they know. You self tell them what they know and learn from each other. And it will surprise you that some of these people know a lot of things we don't know. Yes, yes, they know a lot of things we don't know. You know, especially when it comes to issues were connected with the environment. Herbs, how for do fishing, why you for put this trap yonder, why you not for put that trap yonder. They know it's a skill. How for make iron into axe. They know it's a skill. How for make that pot when they make with clay for put water, then when they make the marmite first time for cook. It's a skill. All of these skills, when a part of a culture, we don't let them go because of the kind of education we'll get. And these skills can produce wealth. Madagascar, then they use raffia in Madagascar. They make a lot of things they would and they export. In those days, we used to export piassava from Sierra Leone. Now we're talking about plastic pollution. So then rubber brush, this and that, they soon go out of style. Have we ever sat down to think about how to go back to the peer server and improve it? There's a local skill. They were doing it. Can we go back to that? I can't, because the kind of education no, they allow go Tiago go train myself yonder. He is train himself yonder, but he want office work. What then give office work, you not get much for do. Pass for look who sign money there, you sign paper, you thief money. So what education they teach we. We're happy about that. We're happy. And it's wrong to be happy. Because you are not producing, you are consuming only. You are only consuming. And you cannot be consuming all the time. There'll come a time there'll be nothing to consume. Another thing will affect your education is that we they compromise the teaching service by political arm twisting. There is a lot of pretense. We are doing this, we are doing this, we are doing this. But nobody is talking about the most important factor in the process of learning, the teacher. For God's sake, if you take a teacher with child trousers, child clothes, laying shoes or wash shoes, they go team up before classroom every day, they talk to Peking. You think that Peking will take that teacher serious? He will not, or she will not. Let us stop assuming children don't think. They think better than us adults. They understand everything. When a teacher is haggard, hungry, rough, you go at him up before a classroom. The Peking, they see the value for him for get education. And why is the teacher that way? Because society not to take the relevant step for make them improve on the teacher in condition. As a matter of fact, society not consider teaching as a profession. They think it's just a place to go and waste time. Teaching is the first profession on earth. After teaching, the next profession is engineering. Without these two, nothing changes in this world. Manager, yeah, important when una dey produce goods and services. If una no dey produce goods and services, manager not relevant. And una dey create the ability for produce goods and services. First na the teacher wey dey harness the human resource. Next na the engineer wey the teacher produce, wey dey use the skill wey learn for convert the elements into something that can be a good or a service. But in Sierra Leone, and of course in the whole of Africa, the teacher is a non-entity. He is like a slave. He has to be, and he should only talk when he's spoken to. If we don't change that, we are wasting time. In Norway, in Norway, the teachers are one of the best paid people. A teacher we don't teach for 30 years in this country, they earn more wage than the prime minister. Yes, yes, it's a fact. Teacher we can newly know they earn past the prime minister. Yeah, the wage difference, of course, is very small, in narrow. It's a capitalist society and a social democratic society. So the wage difference is not too big. That cleaner in wage with that graduate in wage, maybe in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 difference there between them. The teacher, we don't teach 30 years. They earn more salary than the head of state. In Sierra Leone, the teacher not even get host for sleep. The teacher not even get food for it, but they expect that teacher to stand in front of a class and build the minds of the future generation. Are we really thinking in Sierra Leone? Are we thinking? We have to wake up and smell the coffee of our own self-sabotage. Don't smell them. The child where they learn a very big factor in the process of education. You have to make consideration for that child, for make sure say the child not go through any form of trauma while they learn. Because if that happen, that child they grow up to be somebody who not properly conditioned for meet the demands of society. Either the child they lost self-confidence and therefore are not able to portray in talent properly, or in certain extreme cases, the child they become a bully. And when such a child goes into politics and happen for the head of state, so now they get a dictator. All the dictators in Africa are the kind of education they produce them. All. All. Whether we like it or not. So we get to look at that. But we will not solve all these problems by just talking about them. What do we do? If we mean for solve them problems, yeah, what do we do? I will take a short break, then I will come back to that. What to do to solve these problems of education.
Aseto pada mukosa pose. No pro, nagbesa compro no bawizo ze. Najwara city modia to bara city mano baribo damu aseto pa wia aseto pa damu posa kuze.
We're back. I believe say some people they wonder say why they play this kind of music because music is part of the talents them who don't fail for developing our country. And it's unfortunate these Nigerian boys going all over the world making billions. They are doing so from a music that originated from Sierra Leone, Afrobeat. It was started in the 60s by Gerald Pine and his group, Gerald Opino and the Heartbeats. I had them play as a small boy. Let me get one hotel na Fruby Road by Bombay Street Junction, what them they call Connery Hotel. And then the small pikin they go dance. So the cow hang on a door, they listen with them they play. And I remember back one group in Congo, who been the pass for go South America, they may play in that same hotel, they to then contact them. One of them, he don't die now, Tapsi, who was a classmate and a schoolmate at the grammar school. Music, at the time when they grow up, when you go into music, they say you don't are lucky. You go into football, they say you don't are lucky. But it's multi-billion business. And we get talents them. When we they fail for look at, we all want to copy foreign music. This music was played by a cousin of mine, Abdul Tijan Jallo, they call himself Abdul TJ. He is in London. One of the most talented Sierra Leoneans. He's in the class of Ebenezer Kalenda, Essie, Rojas, etc. They have their own beats. And these are the things, if we get a proper structured education system, we'll get music labs them, where then they go, then look at their music here, then build them and internationalize them. They bring wealth to the country. That's our education. No, go and learn the book, go learn English. As a matter of fact, if you don't speak good English in Sierra Leone, you are not educated. I'm not sabi English and not sabi book. I wonder if the Chinese then sabi book because na Mandarin then they use. Or the Norwegians, maybe they don't know book. For the Harvey Brook and Noshk. I can snack a Noshk. Nosh, I snack a no. So I'm not educated speaking Norwegian. Is that so? We have to change what's in there, sir. We have to change. We got a lot of way for make life better for we. We got a lot of resources. The only thing we need for improve on the human resource and make them development adopted and friendly. No need for make everybody sabi Pythagoras or quadratic or applied maths. As a matter of fact, in Norway, the educational system is such that the kind of mathematics we picking in the land is tailored for the course way they do. That pikin wey they do hotel management, the maths way they learn is different from the how they do to mechanics. It's different from the how they do carpentry. But in Sierra Leone, put all thing now and pot where the pikin and say, this pikin fool is stupid. There are no stupid people. Oh, no, that everybody gets a talent. If we get a properly structured system, we get properly structured policy framework, we get properly structured curriculum, everybody's talent will be developed, and those talents will contribute towards creating the wealth of the nation. So the first thing for begin look at, if we want to make our education suitable for we, that we do a structured research, internal research. Go to the villages, look at those traditional industry, look at the traditional technology, see how you can synchronize them with the Western technologies. Begin use them at the school system. Begin use them at the informal system. Begin use them at the non-formal system. Because when they talk about education, you get three systems. You get the formal system on at the school, where everybody they go spend 8 hours. You get the informal one when I treat what you they learn at treat. Or if you're an apprentice in a garage, what you they learn, although that is semi-formal also. Then you get the non-formal. That now what you they learn every day, even after as I dey talk so. I learned something today. Maybe consciously or unconsciously. For every day that you are alive, you learn something new. Not to pass you read your movement around, your interaction with people. You're going from one point to another. You dey learn something new. That's the non-formal learning process. And all that, we get to make provisions for them if we talk about education in a developing country. Let everybody know, say, what come on a morning, if I dey go and anything I see, let make note of them. Maybe even time we will sit down, we discuss, but we as a community, we see how we can use them. Don't come up on this mystic thinking, oh, that man then a magic make it a merry. But it's not magic. Everybody getting talent. Everybody. And every talent matter. Even how they eat boku, it may be a talent because then they eat in competition where people and they pay for go look. That they generate income. We therefore look at education from a very practical point of view. So we need for research and see what is appropriate for our environment, what is appropriate for our development needs. And second thing we need for do, we need for revise with policies and curriculum. Therefore, make them suitable for we cultural needs. We therefore make them suitable for we development needs. What is good for the British child may not be good for the Sierra Leonean child. They don't live in the same environment. They are not in the same culture. We can use both in common at the British environment, but adopt them for make it suit your environment. Don't go and begin to teach the child about summer and winter when you don't have summer and winter in Africa. Stop talking about summer schools in Africa. There is no summer in Africa. How about rainy season holiday school? It makes more sense to the child. But if you go confuse the pikin about summer holiday and they see winter, then you begin create intellectual vacuum. Then it's still okay for do. And then they very, very important. Very, very important. Very, very important because learning takes place when there is proper communication. Whether it's design communication, accidental communication, non formal communication, learning takes place when there is communication between the learner and the person or object that the learner learns from. If you, the daddy, sit down house, they smoke drug, I begin to see him unconsciously, they get the communication, say drug is good. They pick up as habit if you're not careful. In the school system, if you go put Peking at school, we come out from an environment which say nobody know they talk English. You will begin talk English to them from day one. You dey confuse him brain and not able to orientate himself. And in most cases, they end up not for being interested in nothing they go on. They take a passive, a psychologically passive position. If even he gets a talent for be a scientist, you're not able to develop them because the medium of instruction or communication system don't alienate them from what they for use for instigate them for begin understand say I can be a scientist. So we get to take a look at the medium of instruction in the formal and semi-formal systems of education. I can say we for stop for teach English. That's not what I'm saying. We can teach any number of languages to the child. But when it comes to teaching for make the child understand the concept, if you want to tell and say water get hydrogen and oxygen, you get two molecules of hydrogen, one of oxygen. Tell them to run a language where you're able to understand. Tell them to let picture them in your own natural way. Sorry about that. Somebody called me. I just get for talk to her. It's my better half, and I have to talk to her. She's not at home. She traveled. As I've been saying, the medium of instruction is very, very important. And we get to find a way for teach picking them at certain level, especially between age 5 and 12. Let them able build enough concepts in their mind for allow them for get the foundation for go further in education. If that child born like Mende speaking culture, Teach them in the Mende language up to the term where they done JSS. And teach them within that period the English language as a subject. The child born at Timni language environment do the same. Limba do the same. Fula do the same. Teach English as a subject, whilst the child they learn all the concepts them in your native language, in mother tongue. If we adopt that system, we will see wonders begin upon us, Sierra Leone. We'll see wonders. And added to this medium of communication or medium of instruction, we have to put more emphasis on kindergarten education in Sierra Leone. People think kindergarten is not important. It's the most important stage in anybody's learning process. From age 0 to age 5, 6, now the term, the orientation, cognitive orientation of this world, the concepts about this world, how it turn, within the world mean, now the tell they build in the human being. When you put the pikin like kindergarten school, it go there, it learn by play, it begins socialize with other people them. Then they get lasting impact on the pikin in life. We can open in kindergarten at any level, even in the villages. We get an old mommy there. Train them, let them understand the basic methods with them for use in their own local environment. Let them teach the pikin them. Get at the pikin and like play. Let them go sit down to a whole day, then they play, then get toys them, they make local toys, all man, they make in clay and routine. Then they play, then they talk to themselves, then they learn basic concepts. When a child don't begin grow at that level, he able mix and build confidence. He able socialize. He able begin understand, say, if I put this and put this, now this will be, it grow with attitude. And it become very inquisitive and innovative. To the tertiary level, if I do a lot of restructuring, that is the universities and the higher levels, we could do a lot of restructuring. We are still too academic for a developing nation. We therefore come with more practical courses at that level, where people then go learn and come out of society, come out into society, and don't have to wait to be given a job. When somebody done tertiary level, a kind of society, he get a skill where they allow him for able to run in life. It minimize a lot of social tension. Then at the same time, it contributes towards building the wealth of the nation. The next recommendation, we for do a research, nationwide research, look at all the cultural skills and technology, see how we can incorporate them into our present educational system, and now build a roadmap, say, for the next 20 years, for the next 25 years. This is what we are going to use. Whoever comes to governance, let them use this. They should not change it. Because education not overnight thing. Jack no go come 10 year, he count one policy, Tom come 10 year cow different policy. We they confuse the picking them. They'll get a structured roadmap towards education where it built on how we go use with culture, how we go use with resources, and how we use the foreign technology, foreign concepts, for blend them, let we get properly educated people. We will be industrialists, technicians, etc., etc. Which should be done as soon as possible if we mean for develop Sierra Leone. Because right now, we get 60% demographic where they below age 25. If we fast track this and come out with something concrete, we'll begin implementing now. In the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a different picture. Ghana started it about 1991, 90. Today, it's a different picture in Ghana. Yes. Nigeria also is progressing towards that. They started after Ghana. Another thing we'll for do, we for set up an education commission. And please don't politicize that commission. Please, I beg, una not put politics there. Set up a commission. Let it be made of professionals who understand what it means for educate picking them. Let it be made of psychologists, sociologists. Then they for map out and improve on the policies they move for use for educate to picking from meet with development needs. Lot of go take policy outside can put them. How we do them for we self. The Chinese are using their own culture to educate themselves. What you get for understand as alien is technology is not limited to any race. It's universal. So let us stop thinking we have to copy from the British. We have to need that. Use the concept. As a matter of fact, stop them concept tell them people how they use today. They came from Africa. It's learning institution where they write about na history. Na Egypt been they look so. The home of Husni Mubarak. Look so. It's still there. It was called the Lodge of Wahad. Where people came from Persia, sector for land. Now, once then they do that, now one Persian come, he begin use letter for calculate. Now the algebra develop. Algebra is an Arabic word, algebra, using letters for counting. This man is called Muhammad al-Kowitsme. It started in Egypt. Trigonometry started in Egypt. So it's not British, it's not American, it's not European, it's universal. Yeah, they'll get a commission, properly equipped, properly constituted, let it day for make policies. Day for look at what in the go on, how the world they change, what we need. We left for do tonkobele education because that would they gamble. Today we go take stem, tomorrow we go take leaf. We can't put them. Let us be serious about education. South Korea does not have a single mineral, but because they put the correct emphasis on education, they're one of the global economies. Today we don't begin to go bigger to them. 1960 we've been past them. 1961 we've been past them. They just put the relevant emphasis and give the relevant priority to education. It's our way forward. It's all our future. That diamond, that gold, that oil all go down one day. But if we get properly educated society, the society will continue to function properly. This is what structured societies do for their human resource. Not for go give them push and begin kill them. The next thing, make the teacher relevant in society. Nobody is asking you to make them millionaires, but make them relevant, make them decent, make them professional. Professional, I mean, give them the kind of education that allows them to understand how to deal with the minds of people, how to shape minds. Not to any jack who get bachelor or masters for team up, they say in a teacher. You are not a teacher, you are a chalk and talk man standing in front of a classroom. The teacher, they look at the Pekin. If not Pekin angry, no say this Pekin angry, he know how he would deal with them for make the Pekin feel comfortable. If he dey talk, that Pekin not comfortable with what he dey talk, he know. If they go ask am, you know they understand this thing, what's in the happen. He cooks the Pekin. But that chalk and talk man, he not care na the concept. Who been get some teacher and enjoy the can and they write. We say for right. In that case, then they no learning, no they take place. Yeah, copy, you go take a copy, you recite them. Either by writing it or by saying it. Learning not take place. So let us make the teacher relevant. Number one, they say teacher is in loco parentis. He stands in the place of the parent. If you are a parent who is well dressed, who lives rich and good life, you carry picking on a school, outside the teacher is haggard, you dey help for destroy you picking. Yes, because the picking not they see education as relevant. They say that Papa, they can't keep me now for make I waste them. So until we they go okay, no Allah they me hungry and I make it they can left me. So listening not they take place. Make the teacher relevant. Make the teacher get the status with. Then you will see the attitudes, the psychology, the change, and learning will begin. Next, those who are not going to the formal school system, those learning out of the school system, we therefore do structured research for see how we can get them for learn in a more organized way. And for those who are like adults, let us see what kind of social safety net we can provide for encourage them for go learn. Whether they go learn carpentry, whether they go learn auto mechanic, who don't pass 21, 22, 23, again needs them. They get something where they get every month as allowance, but on the condition that if they go learn, then for mark register, if you not go, that money for the day they lost them. Let's get that. Let's get that. Let's see what thing will be the result. It's money well spent because if we able to develop the human resource in the next 10 to 15 years, production of goods and services will take place such that Sierra Leone economy will begin talk about billions of dollars per annum. Yes, yes, yes. We will. We'll have more rich people in the country. Everybody will get more wages. Things will get better. But we have to start by making a sacrifice. There's nothing in this life that comes free. You need to sacrifice something to get something. And for us to have the best human resource, we therefore sacrifice input of equipment, teaching material, good teaching service, respectable teaching service. For me, the processes of learning take place. Another thing we for try do, we are living in the 21st century. Please, let we try and sure say we get internet for the school systems. With internet all over the country for the school systems, it's going to take a lot of strain out of the educational system. When a child goes to the classroom, he will see something on the screen. If we get projector, he see them on the screen. He see what's in the happen on other parts. He listen to how then they do them. And learning by itself, learning. Maybe that concept to that teacher be done, they explain to all this them. If you see them on that screen, they understand that easily because it's part of education and call audiovisual education. Audiovisual education. The non-formal system therefore begin set standards in society. Tender religious way, woman not for wear this kind clothes, man not for wear this kind thing. No, not that way, not the ethical way. We therefore set certain standards in society. We go allow people learn for begin learn ethics, moral fortitude, etc., etc. Because children learn what they live. You not picking in the environment where then they cause mamikos every day. Instead, they grow for cause mamikos. Yes, it's that simple. Children learn what they live. A sociologist and an educationist, Dorothy Law Notler, wrote a poem on that. Children learn what they live. I show up on the last segment. You not picking the an environment whose side and they praise people them every day. They learn for appreciate life. They become a gentle soul. So therefore begin look at them things then they. It's all part of the education and cultural build-up of society. In Norway, there are certain things you don't do in the street. You don't. If you do it, society will frown on you. There was a time where this culture come with them begin pierce them body, they put metal here and there. The Norwegian society kick against them. They begin and stop. Yes, yes. When then too much tattoo. You know, you see them now, then tattoos them, but maybe one. He will put butterfly, but for tattoo all over his body, you hardly see it in Norway. Nobody know they go beat person enough for Duamo. But the consciousness they say, if I do this, I will look funny. This is where non-formal education comes in. This is where the press comes in. The media comes in to work with the educational system, to work with the educational policies, and ensure the society gets that ethical and moral standard for make society be structured. Another thing we for look at, the first government started the National Youth Service. They don't know the about National Youth Service. I don't know if they still a work. but I not hear much about them. The National Youth Service can be an engine for fast-track national unity. We can use them as an engine for provide cross-tribal interactions. Where in the next 5 to 10 years, this issue about Timni Mende, APC, SLPP all go disappear. Yes, there's a way we can do it. If you want to know how we can do it, contact me. I'll show you. There's a way. We get everything before we. But because the kind of education we'll get, now they allow for think out of the box. So we're not even know say na diamond they done before we. What they call an otin, quartz or crystal. It's exactly what is happening in Sierra. No, the type of that man about Kutoki Depa. It's time to move away from the past. We too conservative. Just decolonize our minds and begin to move forward. Please. Before incorporate with local arts and craft, with local cultures and all that thing then into the educational system. Then, privatization of schools will therefore be a little bit more structured about it. Privatization is good. As a matter of fact, before 1906, education was privatized. I make na the missionaries them in the open schools. But now that we try for privatize every Jack and Tom the open school, we get for set standards. We get for set requirements. School not a place for go to the normal all day and the hour and talk. It's a place to learn. And learning not take place by talking alone. The picking get for using mind by experiments, by finding out. So schools, when are private schools, then we begin ask them about how they are equipping their schools. Then we put a minimum capital requirement for make somebody run a private school. Otherwise, the private school will become redundant because now every Jack and Tom they open private school. And they become redundant. It will become a ground for training discontented adults of tomorrow. So therefore be careful about that. Finally, we have to devise a way to fund education. There is a way, but I'll not say it here. I already have a model. The only thing I'll say here is the minimum cost of education in Sierra Leone as it is, as at now, is $3.5 billion. And we don't have that money even as national budget. So there is a way we can fund education. There's a way. Coming this far, I will end my talk here for today. Thank you for listening to me. Momonu, Bisia, Bondesia. And I thank you for listening. Good night, and let God keep well till Friday. Me on Friday, me and my colleague Mr. Toure will come where they can talk about the tripartite. When they talk about the tripartite politically, when they talk about what
Aceto pada mucosa pose. Secre copra, juara siti modia. Secre copra, juara siti modia. Juara siti paneno pro. Nagbesa kopro no bawizo se. Damu aceto pa wia, aceto pa damu posa kuze.